Hello, my name is Michelle Price, and I will be going over my Educational Leadership Action Research Project. The topic of my research is the MTSS multi-tier support system. MTS is an educational framework for meeting the diverse needs of students. It is a data-driven way to identify students with learning disabilities and to implement the correct interventions for students to be served. As you look on the following slide, we realize that MTS is a continuing movement, which means that these three different components all play a part and work simultaneously to meet the whole child. Behavioral, social, emotional, and academics is what the MTSS system uses to help identify students' interventions. An overview of my case study is very simple. We will be looking into how a local school district here in Cincinnati uses MTSS as its form of identifying students' services and what that entails. In this, the vision is very clear and can inspire not only employers but also customers and stakeholders. It should be admirable and it should be realistic and attainable. Ours is to make sure that we are meeting the vision and mission statement that has been adapted by the disability office within this particular school district to align with how they are using MTSS. Our significance is to address the needs of the whole student, promote early interventions, to make sure that it is data-driven, and to promote equality in education. Our goal today is to understand how a school district utilizes MTSS in their school district to promote data-driven interventions that address the whole child. The purpose of our project is one that is very near and dear to my own story, which is why it was chosen. As a student that was identified with a learning disability in the 5th grade, I have come to find that if I would have been given early interventions, I would have been able to bypass some of the different challenges that I had to face in my academic career, which is why I find this to be very interesting and to be a very relevant topic to help students like me to be the best that they can be. Methods. For quantitative, we use surveys, and the surveys were conducted through the directors of the disability services, curriculum directors, intervention specialists, and a school psychologist. After surveys were completed, we completed interview questions based on the research questions. How does the district define and communicate, and what are the decision-making process for students that need support? Method 2. As I stated before, we used interviews, but with the interviews, what we did was we had a recording device. We made sure to clean up any errors. We read through the scripts to have a better understanding, and we looked for commonalities and differences within the interviews in the surveys. If we were looking into secondary data, we would have asked the school district to pull reports such as looking for gaps in data, looking for commonalities, looking for growth, understanding the timeline of the data collected, and how the district is fixing the results within the data to work in their favor, if there were any to be found. Our findings. In this section, we will be analyzing the findings of our research. We have included the problem statement, examples, how we can build findings to develop plans and next steps, and also a conclusion. How the school district defines MTSS. The school district defines MTSS as a problem-solving tier framework that is used data to assist educators in supporting all students through consistent and voluntary and practical systems for students, academic and social behavioral growth. Coming to find out, one commonality that I was able to find is that Fairfield uses a decision tree model, which, as you can see in this graphic, if you press the link, it will take you directly to the graphic. The graphic is broken down into 5 different components, which are assessment, to review benchmarks and screenings, student monitoring, the MTS meeting that is held, and student response to interventions that have been identified. Findings. When we looked, our commonalities, which is one that I just highlighted, was that all of Fairfield City School has the same definition for MTSS. All district professionals explained that there is this decision tree that is used when identifying a student for services. And they all also stated that iReady is the progress monitoring tracker that is used by interventions specialists to coordinate services, and their findings are turned over to the district's established MTSS team to gauge if the interventions are working. If not, how can they modify them, or if a student no longer needs services. Differences that we found through our research is that professional development to the intervention specialists have not been given by the department leaders. They believe that this is being done on a building level, but coming to find out, many have stated that not a lot of professional development has been done for them to clearly have an understanding of what is expected of them from the MTSS process within the district. Although it's clearly defined, the only real resource that they have to carry this out is the MTSS website. Also, another difference that we found is the MTSS committee is not selected by teachers, but by the district. Many teachers from our research found that this finding was very interesting because they feel as if they should be able to pick people who can be on this committee to help them better understand the interventions that are needed for students. Questions that were found through this particular study is that why is there a lack of professional development for intervention specialists to better understand the district's policy for MTSS, and who is involved in the MTSS committee, and how are these individuals selected? None of these things were specifically laid out in the surveys and interviews that were conducted. Improvement plans to follow up. To bridge the gap, we would focus on theory to practice. We would actually take the policy and procedure that was written for MTSS by the department heads and allow staff to attend a PD that is theory to practice based, and allow them to actually have a PD that is very specific, broken down, and led by the department heads within the district for teachers to get a clear understanding. And it would also be broken down by the 3 different tiers that were listed before. This would be a continuum of sessions for teachers to be able to get all the information, not at one time, but broken down in a way that is conducive and that they can ask questions and get a full picture of what is expected. Another follow-up, a way that we would improve this is having the district allow for elected officials to be a part of the MTSS committee, which means it would be made up of school psychologists, building leaders, intervention specialists, and even general education teachers, so that it is a well-rounded committee so that multiple people are able to give the best input on the services that are going to be provided to a child. Thank you so much for listening to my video regarding my educational research topic on why MTSS is important and how it is utilized within a school district. Thank you.